pretty much like the whole entire time I was there, we got like bombarded with like bombs. It's like it might have been just one, it might be like two, but it was pretty much a constant thing every day. My name is Bryan Martinez. I served in the U.S. Army. I served from October 2007 to June 2011. And my job was 91 Bravo, audio mechanic. I was born in Orange, and then I'm right here from Orange County. I was raised in Santa Ana. I've come from a family of immigrants. Both parents are from Mexico. They're from this small town in Morelos called San Andres. Pretty much, I just grew up here in Santa Ana. I'm raised. I have two brothers, one older one and a younger one. Pretty much just had a really normal childhood and like lower middle class. There's it was okay, but there's pretty much type of pretty much violence here and there on account that there's pretty much my city's full of gangs.
Yeah, yeah.
So in that kind of aspect, it's just like it's either you go one way, the right way, or the wrong way. But when I was younger, it was like a little bit avoidable. But like once I got into high school, it becomes more prominent. Like since your friends are, and like you have friends that usually join gangs or they hang around. They're like probably like their siblings, families. And since in that aspect, I usually hang out with my friends like that. Mm-hmm. And I did get in like trouble, and I did start running with like the wrong people. But at the same time, when I was in high school, I got accepted to this high school called Middle College. Mm-hmm. Pretty much it's in Santa Ana College, so you're taking high school classes while you're taking college classes. So in that kind of aspect, just made me show like, okay, there's something more than just what's going on in my city. So in that kind of way, it was just like even like I was trying to like stay away from like, but since I was going to that high school, it's helping me pretty much stay in the right direction. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I was getting into like my little troubles and stuff like that. Well, since I was going to that school, I saw like the bigger picture. Pretty much they were showing like there's like you could get an education, you could actually do something with your life, and like it was, a lot of my buddies there too were like actually going towards getting their AAs. So I was just like, okay, maybe I should do that once I get out of high school. But then like they were also talking about the financial aspect of it, and since like that's a big issue, like particularly nowadays, like everybody's like talking about like they're in debt for school and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to do that, so I was trying to find avenues of trying to like figure it out. So one way was join the military, and since the military offers the GI Bill, I was just like, okay, this will help me out in the future in the long run. So that was like a big major like decision of mine. And then I saw like how like this country actually gave a lot to my family in reality. Like my dad and mom have put a lot into it, and they've actually reaped the rewards. So like I saw it's like, why not actually give back to like the country that is actually giving back a lot to my family. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, okay, well, like a good route will be the military, and then I just decided just to join. In reality, just like okay, but then I just didn't know what branch though yet.
Right.
And then it's a funny story though. Like freaking, it was like I was just like since I decided that I pretty much said, okay, who's gonna call first? Whoever calls first, I'm gonna join. And then the army decided to call first, so I just like pretty much I joined after they called, and then I was able to just pretty much talk to them, and then they gave me the rundown, and then pretty much I was like, okay, this is something I'm into. Like I decided to sign up pretty much.
Yeah. Did you visit any of the other recruiting offices, other branches?
I did like the Marines and the Air Force, and then I knew a buddy in the Navy. Like my brother had a buddy in the Navy. Mm-hmm. It was just like something. I can't swim, so the Marines and the Navy were out of it. So I was just like, okay. And then like I had a buddy that was telling me to join the Air Force too, but then I was just like, I don't know, it was just something about the Army that just decided like, okay, this is just like the branch like for me and stuff like that.
Yeah, nice.
I was actually gonna be was it a waterproof purificator, and but I ended up staying a little bit longer, and ended up just picking like a job that was like more like I'll be able to use after I get out of the service. So like so I was looking through them. I was like thinking maybe infantry, but then it's like, I'm not trying to like down it, but like I was like, what am I gonna do after? So I was trying to look more into a trade, like I saw that it was like a mechanic, so I was just like, all right, this is something I could like actually use right after I get out of. If school doesn't work out, I could use this to get a job and pretty much be a mechanic right after the army and stuff like that. I was like 18, yeah, 18. I was thinking like this pretty much when I was 18, thinking about my future, like 3, 4, 5 years down the road and stuff like that. Yeah, I was thinking educational wise, because I was trying to like make sure that I was set right after I get out if I decided to get out and stuff. Basic training was like I went to Kentucky, Fort Knox. So I was pretty much one of the last classes that got like pretty much through basic training there, like the regular jobs and stuff. Like right now, they're still doing tankers and the Cav Scouts right there, Fort Knox. But I was like one of the last individuals, like one of the classes to go through there. And it was pretty tough because like they call it hard knocks for a reason. And so like it was just like rough. It's just the weather was tough, like cold, pretty much like personally, like I actually had to stay there like a month longer because I wasn't fit. So I had to like actually stay like and work on my physical, pretty much endurance for a whole month before I got put into a boot camp. So in that kind of way, it was just like pretty much like it was either I give up or not, but like pretty much I decided to do it and everything, and then I went through boot camp, and then it was fun, it was interesting, and then I'll like people say like, oh, I won't do it again. Definitely, like I'll do it again. It's pretty it's intensity, like you'll have your misery days, but in the end, like you're really proud of what you've accomplished, and it's because a lot of people can't really say that they've gone through like that kind of training, that kind of endurance and stuff like that. So so like I'm it's something that I'm really am like where I see like a lot of the boot camp videos nowadays. It's just like, damn, that's not. I wish I was there. Like it's not compared to what I was dealing like the toughness and stuff like that, the yelling, and then and I bet like even with like the older vets, like I bet their boot camp was way worse, and then, like they had to deal with more like strenuous stuff and stuff, and so but like at the same time, I feel like that camaraderie or like that like where that boot camp thing where it goes, and it's like
Do you remember? Do you remember what that feeling was like on like graduation day?
I definitely it was a cold day, but it was just exciting. It was pretty much because like you're ready to move on to the next phase of like your training and stuff. So like you're ready to graduate and stuff like that. You're dressed up real nice. The pictures that people are taking, you see your family members. It's a really proud moment and like anybody's military career, because it's like you've accomplished something that you've been wanting for like the beginning when you started, and it's really amazing to see like how like everybody just like gets together and just sees like okay, we did this, now let's like we're soldiers, we're now we're part of the team, you know, and like now let's keep going, and let's go and do the next phase of the training, and that's the job. So like in that kind of way and stuff. After that, I went to Maryland. I went to Edgewood, Aberdeen. It was pretty chill. It's like it was next to the bay. It was really like in the Chesapeake Bay right there. So it was the training was awesome. Freedom was way better compared to boot camp. So it was like nice. The drill sergeants were nice. Like actually, I was trained by a drill sergeant that served under the Marines. So like he had a combat patch, like I think the first division of the Marines. So like it was like really like impressive, you know. It's like so like seeing those things like it keeps you motivated, because you're like, okay, I want one of those things. I want one of those patches. I want to see like I want to finish my training and go to my duty station and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
So like the motivation is there, and like the camaraderie is there, and like the pretty much you're pretty like, because you already like past boot camp, and I think after boot camp it's like it's smooth sailing, a little bit more, much easier, and then because everybody sees you differently, even like the drill sergeants, because like, okay, you've done like the one thing that you needed to do, and like, okay. After that, I got stationed Fort Carson, Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was stationed there for like 2 years, from 2008 to 2010. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So earlier you were talking to me about, we're talking about culture and how you enjoyed, interacting with different people and cultures from different parts of the country. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Okay, when I was in Kentucky, it was like different culture shock, because like pretty much there's no Mexican food at all. So like you're coming from eating like pretty much tortillas, coming in from eating like your regular food to eating just a regular like typical like not like American food, and it's great, like filling and everything like that, but like it's just like a big old culture shock. And then the second when I was in Aberdeen, it was a little bit more like laid back, because I was able to go off base and actually get some food. There was one time I did a carne asada for my buddies and stuff like that, and I, like pretty much I had to go get the meat, I had to prepare it myself, and I had showed them everything, and they were like, and they loved it. And then I even did the guacamole and stuff like that. So they're pretty happy about like how I was sharing my culture with them and stuff like that. Carne asada is like it's straight up a barbecue, and like instead of cooking like a steak, well you're cooking a steak, but it's a thin steak. So you're cooking that over the grill, and pretty much you're either adding other toppings, well, other fixings with it, like grilled onions, and you have like your salsa on the side, tomato, tortillas, and like it's pretty good like Mexican meal and stuff like that. So.
Did your mom used to cook for you back at home?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. So talk to me. Like, what kind of food did she make for you?
Okay, like so since I left, every time I used to come back, she used to make like anything that I wanted, like particularly like the big feast meals, like the Mexican meals. So like there were times that like in the middle of March, I'll be like, I'll coming home, and then I'll be like, I want tamales, and like you don't make tamales in the middle of summer and stuff like that. You usually make them in the winter time and stuff. So like she'll be like, oh yeah, we'll get the tamales, don't worry about it, we'll get them ready and stuff like that. She'll make them for me. If I like anytime like I'll like, oh, can you make some mole? Like yeah, make the mole, pozole, like menudo, like pretty much anything, like it's enchiladas, like anything that she like I pretty much like thought about it. She'll like, okay, yeah, I'll make it for you, don't worry about it. And then like there was one point where I was like, hey, can you make me pupusas? They're like, what? I can't make you pupusas. Why? He's like, oh, they're Salvadorian. I'm like, okay, all right. So like I understand now.
He's like, you're getting too crazy now.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time did you ever bring anybody home from for leave with you?
I've actually no, but like I've actually had my parents go visit me in Carson, Fort Carson. So that's an experience in itself, because like my parents coming from a small town from Mexico, not really like barely knowing the American culture in itself, just learning from just like us, because we're the ones teaching them. They saw how like the military is, and how structured, how proud people are to be in the army and stuff like that. So that was like a real culture shock on it, because I think that influenced my brother too, on account that he, like when they went, my younger brother actually went, saw how I was with my buddies, I was in my uniform, everything, how everything was going. And then like I don't know if he might see this, I might be wrong, I don't know, but I think it did influence him in an aspect where it helped him decide to join the Marines and stuff like that, because he did see like that different different world, because it's a different world in reality. The military compared to the civilian world, it's totally different, and it's like it's way like I sometimes it's really hard to explain the differences, but like there is a difference between like being in the military, like even in a military town compared to like right here and stuff like that.
Right, right. Because I'd imagine, right? I mean, not imagine. I was in the military, so
Yeah.
you know, there ain't no sleeping in.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get up in PT. You got to go eat at a specific time
Yes.
because the chow halls are only open at a certain time, and you got to make sure you look sharp all the time,
Yes.
right? And you know, there's not a lot of people that take to that in the civilian world, really. So. So talk to me a little bit about you did do a tour overseas, right?
Yeah. So I was stationed in Colorado, pretty much like I had a bunch of buddies that got deployed like right away. They were just like trying to get deployed, and then for me personally, like I wasn't like a big like trying to volunteer to try to like leave, but I knew I had to like deploy. So like the one thing I needed, like the one thing before I left the army and I knew I needed, it was a deployment under my belt. It's like it's something really I don't know, like people don't get it until like you're actually in it, that like, oh, like you've been in the army for this long and you haven't deployed. That's odd, you know. That's really weird, and then that aspect just made me motivated to deploy. So I just like I made it a mission to like, okay, I got to make sure I deploy before I leave. And then so like our company, our brigade was just like pretty much just like barely came back when I joined them. They barely came back from like Afghanistan, or I can't remember, but so they were just transitioning in. So like I wasn't gonna deploy for a while. So but at the same time I knew we were gonna get a deployment in, and so we were just pretty much just like building up again. And so those 2 years that I was right there with that company, we were just building up to deploy again. So we ended up getting orders to Kandahar. From right there, so like my company my company that I was with was 43rd Sustainment Brigade. So pretty much we ended up getting those orders, and those orders said that we we're gonna sustain the whole southern region of Afghanistan. So like pretty much it was a big deal on our end, because it's like you're gonna be supporting the thousands of troops going over there. So we were just pretty much preparing ourselves, getting ready and stuff like that. And then since we got the orders, we ended up ended up deploying in March 2010 to Kandahar, and then pretty much we did a whole year over there. And then we ended up just supporting pretty much the whole southern region. Yeah, so.
Did you get an opportunity to call your parents before you left?
They actually came down again. They actually they went to Colorado, picked up all my stuff and stuff like that. And I saw them like pretty much like 2 days before I left. Like before I went on the plane.
Did they know where you were going?
Yeah, they knew where I was going. They knew I was going to Afghanistan.
What was that like, that you leaving them?
Dude, like like my mom was really it was stressful for her. My dad was taking it like a champ, but my mom was pretty like stressed out. I could tell that it was killing her, but she was being strong. She wasn't really showing it, but like it felt I felt it. Yeah, so I thought it was gonna be fine. And then like they met my sergeants, and they met my buddies. So like it's not like they weren't like I'm a big family guy. So like I knew like this was gonna be a big deal. So I needed them to come and stuff, so they'll feel more calm. Yeah, so
nice. It was nice that they got to see you in person before you go like that.
Yeah, like yeah, that's what I was trying to get them, because like they were really worried about it. And I was just making sure that they were okay, because I was gonna be gone for a while.
Yeah. So yeah, talk to me about that. What was the tour like for you?
Oh man, it was tough. It was like when I left, we did 3 months. It was fun. It was like all right, I was all into it. And then they tell me like, oh, you get your R&R within 3 months. I'm like, oh, what? Like, can I get it like within like the half the deployment? We're here for a year. And like, no, you're getting it 3 months. Everybody's gonna get it differently. And like, okay. So like some people got their R&R like within a month.
And explain what's that R&R.
All right, so in R&R, it's like when you deploy, you get this vacation time. So this vacation time is within like I think like 2 weeks that you get, and then so you get to go home. You go see your family, you get pretty much, or anywhere in the world. Like when I was there, the people were going to the World Cup. Soldiers were like going, like they're signing up to get their R&R during the World Cup and stuff. So that was pretty cool for them. But like in that kind of way, it was just like that, you know, R&R vacation. So, but imagine going away for a year and then you get your R&R like right away within the first month. Like freaking, you're gonna come back for another 11-10 months straight. You're not gonna go home, and that's pretty tough in general. And so like that's pretty much what happened to me in reality, because like well, I got my R&R like in 3 months. Then I pretty much had to come back and for 9 months straight, and now it's like tough, because by like December of that year, I was already over it. I was already tired. I was already like, I didn't want to be there. I was just like, it was already like a different mindset, and it was just like, and it's I don't know, it's like it's different for everybody, and like some people like it, some people like being like right there, but like for me, it was just like it was just tough. It was just like being away for that long. It's like I thought it was gonna be okay with it, but in the end, it was just like it was a tough year. In reality, it was a tough year.
What was some of the hardest things for you to deal with while you were out there?
Like a lot of the things was like one of the things that I had to deal with, like knowing that, like, cause I was like, since I was a mechanic, or where we worked at, we were like next to the graveyard. So like we used to see like the bombed, like the blown up trucks. So like the one thing that was tough is seeing those trucks like cruising by like your workshop, and you're just like thinking like, okay, is this, like, even though you don't know the people that were inside the truck, like you're like, hopefully they made it, hopefully they're okay, and just like, but like you knew some of them were like, nah, and it's just like it's too, like they're too blown up, like you know they didn't make it, you know.
Yeah.
So like that was like the one tough thing that, like, and then you can't really think that it's like it's gonna affect you until like later on, when you're just like, okay, you're thinking about it, like, oh, like you're just like replaying those pictures again, and just like, okay, like I see why people like are not right, you know, sometimes, you know, because like that's pretty messed up seeing those kind of trucks, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So
earlier you were talking about the stress of, you know, getting hit while on the base constantly. Can you talk to me about what that was like?
On that account, it was like so like since our base was at Kandahar, like I think the one thing that I've learned recently is that it's like it was the last base we conquered. Like the U.S. took over over the Taliban. So like now I can see why they were fighting so bad over it, on account that they like that was their last stronghold. They're like, oh, they want it back, you know, and like pretty much like the whole entire time I was there, we got like bombarded with like bombs. It's like it might have been just one, it might be like two, but it was pretty much a constant thing every day. Like every day we got hit by like pretty much a rocket, a mortar. Like it was just like but it will hit in like in the most randomest places too. It wouldn't hit like because they're not as accurate as people think they are. They're just like the Taliban just sets up the bombs. They put a timer, and then like hopefully the rocket reaches the base. That's pretty much where like some of their stuff is really like ancient. It's not like their technology is up there, but the deadly, like the how, like the kill zone of it does matter. You know, they don't care if they kill 1 American or 100 Americans. They're happy as long as they kill one. So in that kind of aspect, they kept going and going. Like, even though it's a big base, Kandahar is a big base. They kept shooting rockets and mortars and stuff like that. And then there was a couple close calls and on with my buddies, and not me personally as much, but like with my buddies and stuff like that. And I could see, like, I don't know if it made an impact on them, but I know it's like it made them think twice about like what's going on over there too. You know?
Yeah. What was the procedure when you had an incoming fire on the base?
So in that kind of way, it was just like there'll be a rocket attack, a rocket alarm. So there'll be speakers saying rocket attack, and there'll be like a big old horn, and then it usually be around 5 to 10 seconds prior to the actual rocket hitting. So while you have those 10 seconds, you try to hit the deck or try to get a bunker, try to go to a bunker, and then the whole entire time that alarm be ringing. And then you'll be waiting until you'll hear the explosion. And then once you hear the explosion, you're like, okay, now it's clear. And then you'll wait for a bit and to see if there's another explosion. And then if there's not another explosion, then you'll know it's clear. And like, okay, then you go pretty much like that. So
if any of these rockets were to hit the where you were sleeping, where you would sleep at night, what kind of shelter would you have? Would you be gone, or what would happen?
So like where I was at in Kandahar, we had like pretty cool it was rooms. It was like little apartments. In the reality, it was just like it was connexes, so it was just 2 men rooms. So but they were really thin. There were no protection at all. Like pretty much a rocket goes through them. Pretty much a lot of casualties and stuff like that. But so like that was the one thing I was fortunate about. Like that we never really got hit like on the buildings. But at the same time, like since I was mentioning about the close calls, like in those kind of ways, it's just like you just take it, you know. Sometimes you're just sleeping, you're hearing it in the middle of the night, and you're like, man, you're just so tired from the day. You're just like the rocket, the alarm's going off, but then you're just like, man, I'm just gonna hit the deck, whatever. If it hits, it hits. I'm gonna be honest on that aspect. It was just like you're just so tired of it, like you're just so like over it that like if it hits, it hits. Like, and it's like it's a funny, like it's not like it's funny, but it's not funny because like it's funny because you're like, oh yeah, it's like it's not gonna hit, but then when it hits, it's like, okay, like you're not laughing now, you know. But at the same time, you're just like I don't know, it just became so like a normal thing, you know. You're just so used to like having the rockets hit your base that you just like sometimes I even slip through them. I'm gonna be honest, I never really you'll hear them, but I'll just slip through them. And like my buddies be telling them, oh, did you hear the alarm yesterday? He's like, nah dude, like I didn't hear nothing. Yeah, so like in that kind of way, it's just like you're trying to like be safe, but at the same time you're just so overworked and so tired that you're just like at times you just don't care. And it's sad because you're because you're talking about your life. You're talking about your life, you know. You're just like, oh, so in that kind of way, you know. So like our experience was a little we didn't have like the tents built up. Our command center we didn't have it built up. So the one thing that I really did enjoy was like we actually did it like a little we actually built up the tents and our command centers, our maintenance center and everything. So like a lot of people like in that base usually just took over they took over like a section and already built up and everything, but we actually built ours from scratch. And then that was like a big proud moment because on account that it reminded me of like how the initial invasions came and they had to build their tents and everything like that. And I was just like, oh, I actually could say that we actually built our work areas and stuff like that. So and that was pretty cool on account that I was able to work with some locals, some Afghans, and then they were able to they were able to show me some of their culture, how they deal with certain things. But and then also we actually ended up building like a basketball court in like our work area. So we used to like get like everybody from the company, from the brigade, and play basketball like on the weekends and stuff, like on days off and stuff like that. It was fun. I enjoyed it, and we had a blast on doing certain things and stuff like that. And like if you take away the danger, it's like you're just like camping. Yeah. So.
Well, not many people can say they played basketball in the middle of Afghanistan, right?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I never thought about it like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, did you ever receive like mail from your family out there or anything?
Not a lot. I don't know. There was something about me and mail I never got, but it was cool. I got it here and there, and then like the one thing they try to do is like send me care packages. One time I got like a care package from one of my mom's bosses. She sent me some cookies and sent me some snacks and stuff like that, like toiletries and stuff like that. Yeah, it's cool. And then I used to like the care packages from like the USO or like from like the random community organizations.
Yeah.
Because like I remember I used to get like care packages from like little kids from the middle of the United States. Like no like, and then I'll read the little card saying like thank you, and I'm like, oh, this is so sweet and stuff like that. And I used to enjoy those because they used to like give us like good stuff too, like snacks and stuff like that, and like some of the toiletries were like the high end, and so like the baby wipes and stuff like that, and like. So like I used to like those more than like I'm gonna be honest, those than most of my family and stuff. On account that they like they care, like they're going out of the way for a stranger, and like they're showing that they care about like what are you doing and stuff like that. So yeah, it was cool. But other than that, yeah, it was like my family. They sent me some stuff. It was like the one thing that we did try to get was like a hot sauce. Like tapatio or like stuff like that, because you over there you're like fuck, the food is so bland. Yeah. So.
Yeah, hot sauce is gold, huh?
Oh, definitely on that. The hot sauce was the best, you know. Like other than that, you pretty much you'll be eating like fucking like cardboard so sometimes.
So what was that adjustment like for you getting out?
Oh man, that was tough. That was a hard one. I didn't think it was gonna be hard, and like until I got back, cause like you usually like have a how do I say like a period of time to get adjusted in the military. Sometimes like you come back, you're able to like at least like stay in for a while. But like for me, it was just like I was already over it, and I was already like focused on getting out. So I was just more instead of like dealing with my problems, I was more like focus on getting out. Like okay, like I'm not gonna worry about this. I'm gonna like I'm already gonna go into my next chapter in life. So when I got back, it was different. It was just like I still felt like I was back in Afghanistan. It wasn't like I felt back I was in Colorado. Like legit, I still felt like I was back in Afghanistan. And then since I felt that, it was just I still had some of those habits, like the little noises, like the structure, like trying to be motivated, trying to do something every day, like the bombs, like the stuff like that, like when you hit the deck, pretty much stuff like that. They were still lingering, even though I was already here and like safe. I wasn't in no danger at all, and then next thing. And then like so like when like I got out in June, and then like I really saw like how it really affected me because 4th of July, I like in Santa Ana. It's if you go to Santa Ana, it's like a freaking like a war zone on 4th of July. You just see freaking fireworks everywhere, and when I was a kid, I enjoyed them. I was like I loved them. I loved seeing them everywhere. And then I knew I was expecting that. I was just like, okay, this is typical. But then but prior to to 4th of July, it was like it was already happening. It was already like this, the fireworks already happening around in the neighborhood, and I was feeling the tension in my body. And then 4th of July hit, and I was just like, I couldn't see the fireworks. I had to go home. I had to go home and sleep, and I couldn't like. It was like that one was really tough because I thought about it. I was like, I'll be fine. But then I saw like, oh shit, like there's something wrong with me. And then I what is it? Like that 4th of July, pretty much. I ended up falling asleep. Ended up waking up pretty much like in the position, like in the bomb position, like that. I'm like legit like on my bed, like covering myself, like if I was like it was pretty much like the same way I was like in Afghanistan and stuff like that. So like in that kind of way, it's just like it made me think like, okay, there's something wrong with me, but at the same time I'm not gonna say anything because there's always that like, okay, it's gonna go away. And then it was just tough, you know. It was just like a like tough situation. My family tried to be there for me. They try to actually do certain things, but at the same time they're like, oh Brian, you're here, like let's do this, let's do that. And I'm like, I don't want to do nothing, and I just want to stay. I want to like do whatever I want to do and stuff like that. And then but at the same time it's just like, oh, I'm like dealing with these underlying problems that I should figure out, you know. But it took a while to figure it out though. So.
And how did you figure it out?
Well, like initially, like I kept myself busy, so like and then like they weren't really prevalent. I went to school and stuff like that, and then but it got too much for my family, and then so they ended up trying to like talk to me. They're about to like kick me out of my house, you know. They're like that was how bad. And then my brother, since he's a Marine, he knew like I was dealing with some of these issues, so he told me that like he found a place where they do counseling for the VA. Like you already have the VA, let's just go there and then they'll help you out. I'm like, all right. And then like everybody was pleading with me. I'm like, okay, so and then I did it, and then I started going there. It took me a while just to even get used to it, and then I even stopped going for a bit, and then I saw that it does help, like going to counseling and actually talking to people and stuff like that. And then after that, I was just like, I kept going, and then pretty much it helped me through some tough times, and then pretty much I was able to get back on track and stuff like that.
Yeah, good. What would you say is one of the most important things about managing? I imagine you've probably been diagnosed. Have you been diagnosed with PTSD?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is one of the most important things to either do, maybe like a purpose or something like that, to manage, you know, the PTSD, you know, for the other vets that might be watching this that are dealing with what you go through?
Well, like one thing is what a lot of people mention is like trying to figure out your triggers. So like if you figure out like for example like these certain things don't like, you know, you're not gonna do well like in certain areas, like for example like a crowd, like it's okay to just like, it's okay to take a break and not go like pretty much it's okay to not to take a chill pill and not go. And then if you feel like you're not gonna you're not gonna be comfortable there, because some people sometimes it's like what, like you feel obligated as a vet because you've been obligated, like because you serve your country. You feel like sometimes you feel obligated for your family, and you feel like you need to be doing this for your but sometimes it's just like it's good to just take a break and just take a step back and then reevaluate, instead of like going there and then next thing you know you're getting angry, you're getting frustrated, you're not feeling comfortable, and you want to leave. And then don't be afraid to mention those things too, because nobody knows what you're thinking, because like you're your own person, you know. And then but at the same time, the other individual that like, or you're trying to talk to or you're trying to deal with, they'll understand. It's not like they wouldn't understand, because you're communicating with them. You're telling them how you really feel, how you really are, because it's not like they don't care about you or they don't even understand like what's going on. So
yeah, I feel like maybe a lot of us have a hard time communicating that, and the way we respond to it is being angry about it and mad instead of saying, hey, I feel real anxious because there's a lot of people around here, and letting your wife, your mom, your friends, whoever it is you're with at the time know that. Instead, we just respond like grumpy, mad, anger, probably because we're upset that we feel like that and we don't want to feel like it. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor, but yeah, man. So
what was it like? One thing that I did learn from like, because I went to school, one thing they taught me in school was vulnerability, and then what showed me is that like it's okay to be vulnerable. It's you're showing you're more of a stronger person by showing your vulnerability than not, because you're actually showing like your weakness instead of actually trying to like keep it in.
Yeah, that's big. All right, well, we're gonna get ready to wrap it up.
All right.
Bryan, before I do, I'd like to give everybody opportunity to say any last words you might want to say before we cut the tape.
Well, since this is going on YouTube, I want to give like pretty much like a little shout out to like everybody that I served with.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that like I didn't like that I pretty much represented my brigade and just represented the people that I served with pretty well, and then I pretty much that like even though my experience is not as well like as big or this like significant, I wanted to also show like the people that are in the backgrounds, the soldiers the mechanics, the cooks, the people that the signals, the people that do the stuff in the back that a lot of people don't want to do, but it's essential for the mission to be accomplished. Like I want to make sure that these individuals are representative in the proper way, because I feel sometimes they're it's not that they're not grateful, but it's just like I feel
recognized.
like they're recognized. They need to be like recognized a little bit more. Yeah.
And what you did was absolutely significant. Yeah. So you need to know that too.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Hey, well, thanks for being here, Bryan.
Okay.
It's a big deal. It takes a lot of balls to sit here in this seat and tell your story, man. So I really, really appreciate it, man.
All right. Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Push it to the limit, I can't go no more.